Y'all know what it is, and y'all know who it is. It's Big Dog Chico. It's Deuces Scoop. It's yours truly, Uncle Neely. It is the morning run coming live from the Championship Center. Press conference is going to take place behind us shortly. We got Marshall Faulk and two of the running backs who will be joining us. We might even still talk a little Jerry Jones because I know Chico loved talking about my Cowboys. It's the morning run.
Yes, just like Uncle Neely said, it's the morning run, August 4th, and we have another presser set up for you guys on this great Monday. Doing good, feeling great. If you're feeling great, get in the chat right now. Let us know. We have the cover practice from this weekend, and also we have the legend, the Hall of Famer, as Uncle Neely just said, Marshall. Will be hitting the press conference in front of the media. We will be having that exclusively live for you guys right here on the morning run. Uncle Neely, you're out there right after practice. Well, it looked like practice getting ready to finish, not officially over yet.
Yeah, practice is about 5 or 10 minutes away from wrapping up, and then you'll have Coach Falk and the backs makes their way up the hill with the rest of the team to join us for the press conference. Chico, we are probably, my math is off one maybe, but we're about 20 practices away from Georgia Tech. 20 practices left. Had one this weekend, got one going on right now. It's been a spirited first week is now in the books. So this is the first day of week 2 of Colorado Fall Camp. It's officially August, and we officially have a game in August, Friday night, August 29th, here at Folsom Field, right on the other side of the Championship Center. Georgia Tech, the Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech comes to town, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So all we're doing right down that bridge, right on the lower fields, is getting ready for week 1, Georgia Tech.
Yes, got to prep for Georgia Tech. Can't take those guys lightly. Coming in from the ATL. Shout out to everybody who's checking in, listening to us from the East Coast, ATL, and everybody else. Got Life of Football up here from Florida checking in. Old down Polk County. Sabrina Blankenship.
Shout out Life of Football, man. We had a
Yeah, man,
we
man,
had a, had a
Coach.
good text exchange last week.
Cool. That's my dog right there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Smuggles, Portia, Eddie Bush in the building, Von Randall. Y'all let us know if y'all ready for this. Put your city and state in the chat also. Keisha and Love checking in from Tampa, Florida, and everything else. Hey, man, we had Draylon Miller and Zy Chrysler last week. Gave us some great insights on what their thoughts are for this season. And we gave our analysis on the wide receiver room and the offensive line room. You guys can check that out. So we'll do the same thing this week with the running back room coming up. Shout out to Bird's Eye Viewing here also. So,
Man, Bird's Eye.
yeah, for sure. Unc, any previews? What should we be looking for? Shout out to Coach J Mack too with the running back room this season.
That we're going to run the ball. It
Mhm.
is a deliberate effort. It's a deliberate intent. It is scripted into the game plan. It is far different from where we were this time last year. We said it before, Chico, and we'll keep on saying it. I don't care what sport it is, 70, 80, maybe even 90% of the time, the ball needs to be in the hands of your best players. And there was no doubt about it. Last year, the best player was Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, and those receivers. Speaking of those receivers, led the nation in receivers getting drafted, and all of them have scored a touchdown so far in camp or preseason games. To just talk about how prolific that offense was last year from the air standpoint. Well, that means you're going to throw the ball, not run the ball. This year, you got a great quarterback in Salton, transfer from Liberty. Also have a great up-and-coming freshman quarterback in Juju, but now it's going to be a more balanced attack. The tight ends are going to be involved. The running game is going to be involved, and not just running the ball, but catching as well. I think you're going to hear Coach Faulk address that and talk about what the expectations of this running back room is going to be this year. You heard it from Coach Shermer. You heard it from Coach Sanders, the head coach. We're going to run the ball this year.
Yeah, I like that sort of effort to get that ground and pound going, hand the ball off to the running backs, and just, as we used to say, impose your will against the other team. Let that offensive line, that big offensive line, lean on those defensive linemen over there. You got some big ones coming in. Mana Tamani, Zy Chrysler, along with Jordan Seaton, the guys who are returning. Big Chauncey Gooden up the middle, Xavier Hill. You got some big boys over there. Larry Johnson, can't forget about that mountain of a man also. And shout out to Yaya right here too, man. he had a good exchange on your cut up today that you put out with Coach Prime and what they were talking about at the beginning of the practice. So y'all check that out if you get a chance to. Right now, the pregame network. You're at practice, and you're filming and you're seeing what's going on. Like, just tell us the differences, like at this time last year to right now.
Depth and talent. I think that this offensive line, is truly 8 to 10 deep. I know the defensive line is 10 deep. You clearly got a quarterback room, that's 3 deep with 2 guys fighting for the starting position. The wide receiver room is just as talented as it was last year with those first 5 or 6, but don't sleep on the other 5 or 6 that's quote unquote behind them. I think there's efforts being made to utilize the tight ends this year in Brett Bartolone's room. He's a PhD of attacking from the Mike Leach coaching tree. So, Chico, I say again that this team is a deeper, more talented team than Coach Prime has had in Colorado before. And also, this team came to camp in football shape under the direction of head strength and conditioning coach Andrew Swayze. So, as I look at week 1 in the book, started week 2, and you want me to compare to last year, we're probably on this Monday morning where we would have been 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks in the camp last year.
Right. And that starts with those workouts from the spring to the summer and that difference maker in Coach Swayze. We've seen that, just showing with these guys' body. Most of them all look different. They've gained some weight, gained a lot of muscle, and you could tell that they've been in that weight room, man. So I'm excited about that. Excited about that depth. Another position I'm excited about, position group, should I say, is that defensive line. Those guys really came in there.
The
What's
little
that?
hat is inside, Chico. The little hat is inside.
The position you always want to pull out the little hat. So we had a good little flow going. And
We
then
did.
I can't say ground and pound. I can't say position.
Favorite position. You can say position group.
I said position group. That's what I said, right?
No, you first said position, and that's when I laughed, and then you went to position group.
Got it.
You can't
right.
help it, Gold Dust. You can't help it. Go right ahead, though. Floor is yours.
You got me this morning. That was funny.
Oh,
Give it to
Chico,
you on that one.
Chico.
You got me this morning. He got actually put the Gold Dust clips in there too. You got me. All right, you got me. And we have Coach Carl Reed joining us today after the press conference. So y'all get ready for that. Shout out to Coach Carl Reed. Also, he has an announcement. We're going to talk about his son joining the staff of Colorado Buffaloes. Also, man, that's a big move right there.
And keep in mind, this is the first week. It's the second week of fall camp, but it's the first week of 5 days of the morning run. We will be here every day this week, coming to you in the mornings from Boulder, Colorado, from the Champion Center. Friday is media day for football, for the fall sports, but we'll be, of course, covering football. So you can expect interviews with the quarterbacks, the players, might even get a little pop-up visit from the head man himself, Coach Prime. So don't miss Friday morning show. But today is Monday. It is now practice 5 or 6. I'm starting to lose count already, Chico. That gives you about 20 left. The rules are you get 25 practices in 31 days. The clock is ticking. What you do not have time in college football is that the one thing you don't have is time. Like, we don't have no time. The game will be here before you know it. Coach Carl Reed is going to join us after the press conferences. If you just joined us, we're going to go live to that tent. Once practice is over, they'll come up the hill. Coach Marshall Faulk, running backs, and 2 of his backs will be joining us for live press conferences that you can't see or get anywhere else.
Hey, you guys in the chat, let us know some of your favorite newcomers on the team, or players, period, on the team. Put the numbers in there, or put the names in, like Sensitive Brown, DK Taylor. Shout out to Taufik Bayer out there in the defensive backfield. Put your favorite players in the chat right now so we can shout them out. Phoenix, Arizona in the building. Crossover MMA in the building. My boy Jay O now. Shout out to you. And everybody else checking up in right now. Y'all make sure y'all get to the website also and check us out. Get you some merch. At
Chico, I got my
com.
notification the other night that my package in the mail. I got me some orders. I put some orders in. Gonna give out some gifts here in Boulder to the staff, so you're gonna see some of the staff rocking some of
Yeah.
our stuff. And
Okay.
I got the notification. Boom, your order is confirmed and en route.
So you telling me that when you order on our website, it keeps you updated, tracked, and everything, send you emails and let you know where your package is and all that other good stuff.
Without you even asking.
Mm.
You don't even have to go ask. You don't have to check a box and say update me. You're gonna get updates.
Yes, indeed.
Order confirmed, order package, order on the way, order en route. It's coming.
Right.
Last night we talked about Kevin Gates. One of my favorite Kevin Gates is. She says she only get excited when the pack touchdown. Can't wait for the pack touchdown. Gonna be on here, my morning run gear, morning run hat.
Yeah.
Might even rub myself like Chico was doing last night.
That was a good impression right there, big brother. Praises to you. Hey, before we get to the press conference, hey, let's go. We gotta have to bring in our dog right now, the third member of this team. We'll bring in Dukes the Scoop, make us trio, the McMigos, as they say, something like that. You know what I mean?
Straight
now,
like
Duke.
that.
Yo.
What they do, Deuce the Scoop?
Yo.
Hey, we good, man. I was saying you was chaining yourself right there, putting on the chain right there, getting right. Good morning to you.
Dukes, did you happen to catch the clip from Uncle Chico last night on the pregame network Instagram this morning?
I did.
Okay, great.
Dukes, take a second right now, live on the morning run. Go to the pregame network Instagram and look at the clip posted this morning. There's two clips this morning. One is Legacy Hall showing you the new Travis hardware, but the other one is from Uncle Chico last night. I need your feedback on it. I need your feedback on it, Dukes.
Dukes, I wouldn't even waste my time on that.
I can't get fast enough. Hold up.
You got better things to do with your time, Duke.
No, you don't.
You can't get there fast enough. Unbelievable.
Legacy Hall. Okay, boom. Here we go.
Not Legacy Hall. The one, that one.
Hey man, Marshall Faulk is going to be an amazing asset to the team this year. I did want to say, come on, man, unbelievable. I did want to say,
take time, Dukes.
I'm excited about guys like Quincy Wiggins and Arden Walker, right? Guys who has been a part of this program now for two years and had high expectations coming out of high school, has high level of talent, and now everything is starting to come together. You've been in the offseason with Swayze also, and now they're learning this defense. Another year with Coach Livingston and Coach Hilo on the outside. I'm excited about those two guys, Quincy Wiggins and big Arden Walker, pass rushers.
I'm excited about Duke's response. That was a good diversion you tried there, Chico.
It didn't work? Damn.
No, it didn't work.
Yo, what's the matter with you? Stop rubbing yourself, man.
Hey, anyways, Duke's facial expressions is priceless then. Oh man, we're going too far. Duke, what you think about Marshall Faulk this season?
Man, I'm really looking forward to it. Not only his impact and imprint on the running back room, but his impact and imprint on the offense in general. I don't think Marshall Faulk in the history of his Hall of Fame career gets enough credit for being a part of the mental process of that Colts offense, the mental process of the greatest show on turf. Taking nothing away from a Peyton Manning or Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk was back there doing the damn thing. He was calling out alignments. He was calling out assignments. He was calling out responsibilities. He was an integral part with the head coach and the quarterback, and even designing that offense. So you put him in a room with Pat Sherman, Jason Phillips, and Coach Brett Bartolone from the Mike Leach tree. I'm expecting big things.
What about you, cousin Duke? You got to unmute yourself, though, Duke. There you go.
What was the question again?
Why does Chico touch himself when the show come on?
Man, Chico, what you had going on?
And then
No, I'm seriously asking, like you were sore from push-ups?
I was
Reminds
stretching.
me,
I was doing like
he still
this.
got 10.
Still got 10.
Yeah.
Them push-ups like a gallon of milk in your fridge, and it's hot outside. You left the door open.
You said it's expired. You saying they spoiled. Hey, I'm from the sip. We drank spoiled milk.
Ugh,
Hey man, smell this. What you think?
unbelievable.
Smell
That
good to
explains a
me.
lot.
Just shake it up.
You were smiling
I
with
know.
it.
Chico, me drinking
Yeah.
spoiled milk
Yo,
does not compare
Yeah,
to you sharing bathwater with family members. So don't you come in here with that.
Hey, man, shout out to DC Young Fly. He confirmed that
He
happened.
confirmed y'all nasty.
Hey, you call it nasty or whatever. It happened. I'm sure you've done some things in your lifetime that are considered nasty also.
You did some things last night that were considered nasty.
Pause. This is true. Let me stop.
Hey, look, put it on the chat. Pull it up so they can see it.
Okay, we'll pull it up. And then I saw a commercial well, we can't talk about that. But Dukes, any guys that are held over from last year that you're excited about? You know, like expanding their role this season, really having a breakout season this year. I just named Quincy Wiggins and Arden Walker. Anybody that's standing out to you while I pull up this footage?
Dallin Hayden.
He hated, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dallin Hayden gonna have a really explosive season. I just like what I've seen so far in camp, and somebody who I think he's gonna get the ball a lot more. And when I look at everybody who can compare to Marshall Faulk size wise and as far as skill set, I think he probably has the skill set and the frame that's most like Marshall Faulk. So Coach Faulk. So I think Dallin Hayden is gonna really have an opportunity to blossom this year.
Yeah, and I'm expecting. Forgive me, y'all. I didn't check the list when I saw Marshall Faulk's name to be doing the live presser, but there will be 2 running backs with him, and I'm assuming it's Dallin and Micah joining him on the podium today. So, if nothing else, for certain we're going to hear from Coach Marshall Faulk, head of the running back room, and 2 running backs will be joining him on today's presser. So, a timely topic, man. Did you bring up Dallin's name and what's going to take place in this new offense, and I call it new, even though the offensive coordinator remains the same. There's no Travis, there's no Shooter, there's no DeJounte Wester. You got some things that have departed from here, but the depth and the talent is in those rooms to replace it. And I'm starting that with this revamped O-line and what that means for the run game.
Very excited about the O-line. Like we said before, I named the guys earlier, big, huge offensive line that has a lot of experience. And you can't forget about the guys who are held over from last year. And one guy also got an extra year, came from JUCO, got player of the practice, got recognized at the end of the practice a couple of days ago, big Kareem Hardy. Don't forget about him. He cut the dreads off and he's more focused this season, he said. What we got going on there, Unc?
I just flipped the camera around so you can see the players coming back into the locker room.
There we go.
When the coaches come up, I'm going to take it over there to the press conference. My man, straight out Mississippi, Reggie Hughes. You see him? Give me that M, man. Give me that M.
Big Reds. You got a lot of Mississippi guys this season, man.
Absolutely.
As you pointed out when Zai was on the podium.
Yeah, we got 8, man. 8 on the team from Mississippi right now. So did you count staff? And I'm not counting staff that was working at Jack State. I mean Mississippians. Probably another 4. So Coach Prime is well into the double digits with Mississippians here in his organization.
Shout out to the great state of Mississippi.
Got the specialists coming up in there. They wear green. Offense wears white. Defense wears black. If you're being held out for some kind of precaution, you wear yellow, and the quarterbacks wear gold.
Appreciate that for a lot of people who might not know. Why somebody has on green? That's not their color. That's special teams color. Is that Dennis with the dog? That's not Dennis with the dog right there.
No,
Is it?
that's not Dennis.
Who is that right there? Let me see. Oh, big fella, big Aki.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, they got their work in.
We live, baby.
That's my seatmate. We sit next to each other in the mornings. Yo coming up. What was that? Yeah,
That's not Dennis with the dog. That's somebody impersonating Dennis with the dog right there. That's like Greg
that
with
is,
the
man.
dog.
That's somebody. It's like they ain't perpetrating, man. They ain't got bridge certificate. Here come Coach Prime and the Prime cart. He about to park and go get his walk on.
Prime cart pulling up. Easy.
So we just
Clean.
waiting on Coach Faulk to come up. When the press conference start, I would take this camera, move it to that side.
Big Xavier here. You call him Jesus, don't it?
Oh yeah. That's what my Jesus look like. Like my Jesus look like that, man.
Shout out to Xavier. I'll tell you what, man. From a guy who had long dreadlocks and played with them, and mine didn't get as long as Cameron Simon Craig did down his back when I played, but man, like at a certain point, man, that stuff gets hot, man. And I'm surprised that guys still keep their hair when it gets a certain length.
The other thing about it too, anything hanging out the back of your helmet, you could be used to be tackled by something.
Yes, it's a part of the uniform.
It's in play.
Yep. Just from the heat factor, though. Goodness gracious. Go back to the players walking in, guys.
Oh, you just missed Coach Prime if you took it off the screen.
Oh no, we had him. We got him.
Okay. Like I said, still waiting on once I see Coach Faulk come over there bridge, I'm gonna take the camera over to under the tents and we'll get ready for the live press conferences. Players are now heading into the IPF. That's the indoor practice facility. Do a little weights, go hit the cold and hot tub, shower up for lunch. Team meetings start back about 2 p.m. To 7 p.m. for position meetings and walkthroughs and that kind of thing. So, when you're in fall camp mode, there are no classes. So it's an all-day thing. With the break in the middle.
Now, some people hair too thick to put in a ponytail. You can't ponytail it. You just gotta have it like Xavier Hill has his. That stuff tough, man. Say y'all be lying.
Yeah, Yaya, my dude, man. I'll be trying to, I'm a extension of the coaching staff here. Anytime I'm working with Yaya on something he don't want to do, coach, I don't know the translation, coach. Like, what are you telling me? That's my English. Like, motherfucker, you know damn well what I'm talking about. You just don't want to do it. So that's why I bust them all. I said, man, I done found out that when you don't want to do something, not English is a barrier.
Now you don't understand. You need more explanation.
All right, Curtis Snyder is now coming up with the two backs and Coach Faulk. So I'm going to take my earpieces out and move this over there. I'll check y'all in a second.
All right. Uncle Neely getting right. Deuce the Scoop with the P hat on. That's for the P Dukes, a.k.a. Philadelphia Phillies in the building. Hey, I got to give a shout out while we on here to my main man out of Selma, Alabama, Gunnar Henderson, the left-handed slugger from the Baltimore Orioles. Just realized a couple of days ago he's on the cover of the show, MLB The Show. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, he a baller, man. I wish the Orioles had a better season this year.
Yeah. I went and purchased the game just because I saw him on the cover of it. Marshall. Coach Faulk.
Good. How you doing?
Good, you?
Oh yeah, great. Good work Monday. No case of the Mondays here.
No case of the Mondays. How do you feel like this fall camp is coming together, and what do you feel is like on your agenda for developing your players?
Fall camp is it's coming. It's like it's really good. The guys up front, they're giving us opportunity to see what we have at running back. Just overall in the past, just to make this statement, it was tough to tell exactly what we had in the backfield in the sense of the talent, because when you have 4 guys in the NFL and the quarterback, obviously you throwing the ball. That's what you're going to do. And last year they just didn't rely a lot on the running game, and this year, Coach wants to implement that. That's his. I think every interview he says we're going to run the ball. So our agenda is to make sure that we understand exactly what these guys are good at, what we're good at, and then figure out a way to get them better in the areas that they're not good. That's it. A lot of the times we're going to ask, and I just told them this, like, we're going to put you in a position to do what you do well. But there's times we're going to ask you to do what we do well that may be uncomfortable for you. And that's where the growth is. And so that's what we're doing. We're putting them in uncomfortable spots, asking them to figure it out. And then when they don't figure it out, show them the things that's necessary to figure it out.
Scott. Hey, Coach, what kind of specific kind of skill sets, traits are you looking for and evaluating in your room kind of as we go through fall camp?
Listen, here's the reality. I'm here to coach. So whoever they put in the room, I'm a coach. I don't care what skill set you have. If you're not fast, if you're fast, if you're big or you're small, it doesn't matter. The beauty of the running back is if you look in the Hall of Fame or if you look all over the league, we look different. I don't look like Jerome Bettis. You know what I'm saying? But we both got to where you want to get to, which is playing at a high level, doing the things that's necessary, and winning football and helping teams win football games. So there's not a skill set. This is college. The guys that we bring in, it's my job to teach them how to get to where they want to go. So I talk to them about their goals and dreams and what they want to do, and then I make sure that fits into what we're doing here as a team.
Coach, in your career, you didn't just focus on carries, you focused on touches, which included the pass game. How excited are you about your running back room and their ability to catch and block and do all the things that it takes to be a running back?
Yeah, as I was saying, that's a huge part of why I say what I said. I never looked at myself as a running back. I looked at myself as a football player. And so I'm telling them that in this room, you're best served at being a football player, because if you decide that you want to make an NFL roster, guess what? You might have to tackle. You might have to play special teams. Running backs, well, if we only are runners of the ball, then we end up not making teams. So your best chance is understanding the game, understanding all facets of the game, and knowing what the quarterback knows, understanding what the offensive lineman is doing. That's what we're doing. And what's expected of them is to understand how to talk about the game, and that has to be taught. Football is a different language, inside the lines, and teaching them how to communicate with me at a high level about what's going on. So when they come off the field and when something happens, we can have that conversation, and I can correct and help them make the adjustments they need to make so they can be better.
Kind of just following up on that, when you set the record for yards from scrimmage of over 2,400, now it feels like more and more in the game of football, it's more by committee running back wise. How do you feel that transition has gone? Why is it that way?
It's in the NFL, they can only deal with what's given to them. And when I was in college, and you were the main back, you were the main back. If somebody got in, they got in. Like when you were tired, if they let you be tired. I remember coaches calling timeouts, like, get some rest, you're going back in. And I think now the game has grown to where that position, having multiple guys, it gives you more depth at the position. And what I like about it is I have a responsibility not to just get one guy ready. I got a responsibility to get every guy ready. And I'm gonna tell you this: if we lose two guys, we'll be good. Not in the sense that the talent and what they bring, we won't have that. But as far as like the knowledge, the information, and how to execute and what to do, we'll be good. I promise you that. Like they all know. They'll tell you. You're expected to know what whoever's taking the 1 rep, if you've taken the 2 reps, you got to know. You have to know what's going on within this offense.
Hey, Coach, I think a two-parter for you. The first one is, what was the appeal at first of working with Coach Brown? What made you want to come here and work with him?
Well, it wasn't a want to work with him. For Coach, you just gotta, like, every how do I say this? You guys know him in a different way than I know. We've been friends for many years. We worked together in television. We always talk just about the game and probably more about kids coming up in the game. and how do you affect them and make sure that they come into the game the right way. And he's one of those waymakers. Like he's not just, when you pay attention to kids that's going to leave this program and go to the next level, they're going to do it in a certain way, and you're going to say, "Oh yeah, wow!" Like they were coached by a guy who understands how to get it done, and I identify with that. And so coming here, not just to win games on the field, but to win the game off the field, which is to make sure that these young men in life become what they want to become outside of football. That they become the father that they want to become. They be the brother. They be the husband. Making sure that they do that. That's the important part. So that was attractive.
And my follow-up to that would be, how does this collection of gold codes and experienced coaches, how does that make you the better version of yourself?
Well, just being around these guys, whether they played the game or coached the game for a long time, where Coach Shermer is, it's just that collection of talent and the respect that we have for one another. Understanding that here's what I love in our meeting rooms, things are said. Everybody's opinion is respected when given, and we welcome it. There's no such thing as a dumb idea. Some of the best plays came in this game as they've been created off of mistakes, things that we thought, oh, that was dumb. No, everybody's doing it now. So when you're around guys like that, I mean, they make me sharp. I know a lot of football. I've been around a lot of football. I've had some hell of a coaches, and I walk into a room ready to learn. And I just believe in life. You're sitting in one or two positions. You're either teaching or you're learning. That's it.
Coach, what if Simeon and DeKalin brought to the table since joining the team?
Both of them, just the level of professionalism. When you look at the fact that when you bring guys in, they've been around, and they're a little bit older. They understand and appreciate exactly what you have, and so what you always want is you want competition, and that's all we want. Every day we line up for practice, we want you to compete. Like I just told them, I say, listen, you're going to have mental errors, and you'll probably loaf every once in a while because in you're learning to build up a tolerance to play every snap full speed. I said, but the reality is, one thing you can't control, every play is your effort. And what they've done is they brought a level of accountability into the room, and they're coaching. A lot of football players are teachable, but the really good ones are coachable, in the sense that when you say, hey, here's what I need you to do, they execute. Teachable ones ask you why, and then they go execute. That why is a couple of plays late. It can cost you to lose a game asking why.
Coach, talk to us about the support in your room. You got a guy well, Faulk Jr. and Jay Mack. What does it mean to you to have them to lean on to coach these guys up?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have the ability to work with my son, and then Coach Mack, who brings a ton of experience, and we collectively we're learning how to effectively provide what's necessary to make sure that these players become the best that they can be. And iron sharpens iron. I get to every night have conversation with my son about different running backs and what's going on. And a lot of times people don't want to take their work home. I get to take my work home, and there's no, as I said to them, don't let my level of play or my accolades take away your ideas. Always bring stuff to me. Tell me what you see. You don't become great in a sense of team by being exclusive. You have to be inclusive. I want their opinions matter, because then I get to teach them as well and let them know the different nuances about what's necessary or what's best, and they get to teach me too.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I have a couple questions for you. First off, you're coming in here with a bunch of guys that played college football, whether it's here or other places. How do you balance watching what they did before with giving them a clean slate in front of you?
Well, they get a clean slate. There's no when you come here, what you did what you did last year has nothing to do with this year, because I'm going to coach you different. I wasn't here. I didn't whatever you did last year, and one of the hardest things is to unlearn. Unlearning it's hard, and that's what we're trying to do. It was some shit you play with Travis and Shador, so they didn't watch you as much, but we're going to be counted on to where one of these guys, or just the position in a whole, could be the focus when the team they say, okay, their running game matters. So now the things that we do, it's important. Those attention to details, those things that you think is minor. I'm a stickler for footwork. I'm a stickler for all of us. Like we all have differences, but how we line up and how we take the handoff, we all do it the same. Now after that, go be creative. But we all start with a canvas and a paintbrush the same damn way before we go make art.
The second question is, you had a chance to go back to camp this weekend.
Yeah.
How was that experience? You and Coach Sapp.
I'm a football, so and I say this because unlike most guys that's in the Hall of Fame or that played in the NFL, like I grew up a football nut. I literally sold popcorn in the Superdome because I couldn't afford a ticket to watch the sorriest team in the 80s, the Saints. That's what I did. And I just love football. And to be around the guys who gave me the opportunity to play this game and left a game in my hands, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And actually speaking, this goes back to Coach Prime. I was like, I didn't want to go. I'm like, I agreed to do this. We're 2 days into camp. And Coach was like, no, you got to go. Like, I cannot go. You have to go. And it was the first time I'd been there and wanted to be somewhere else. But what a great time, man. It's just a great time to sit down next to Tony Dorsett and to have a conversation with him. To pick out a guy who every year I pick out an older guy and I sit down in the house and about their career. I want to hear the highlights out of their mouths, and to hear Larry Little talk about his days, and the things he did, and the guys he played against, and the plays. You get to relive those moments. Their games aren't YouTubeable. Like, what I'm saying, people can go look at my highlights. You don't get to see that, and I give them a chance to tell me about it and really appreciate hearing their stories.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, one question.
Sorry, we gotta go. Sorry, we gotta. Sorry.
Thank you. Mike is up next.
Wait, Curtis, you still a bud?
Yeah. It's good, Michael.
How y'all doing, bro?
I'll catch you up before your next first one of the makeup.
Yeah, Mike, I was going to ask, what's it been like, competition like this year? And do you see a scenario where it's multiple guys on the field at the same time in two back sets this season?
Yes, you will see two backs on the field. One thing about the running back room, all of us can play. It don't matter which back come in the game. You will see somebody make a play. So I love the running back room this year. So it's a lot of competition.
Adam, go ahead.
Do you remember where you were when you found out Marshall Faulk was going to be your running backs coach? And did you at some point go back and watch some of his old films?
Yes, I was in the lunchroom. So I got the call like, oh yeah, Coach Faulk, he coming to coach you. So that same night I went to go watch his highlights. So
What's that
amazing?
What's that experience been like playing for him?
I learned a lot from Coach Faulk this year. He changed our path. Where we lined up in the backfield. That means a lot being a running back in college football or in the NFL. So it really been amazing from him coaching me. So.
But I guess to kind of expand on that a little bit, when you're learning from a guy who has a gold coat and Hall of Fame and everything you want to be down the road, does it carry a little more weight? Do you listen a little more intently?
I'm listening to every coach, but yeah, it does make you pay attention more because he did it before us. He's a great role model, great football player, so of course I'm gonna listen to him.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Micah, just this offseason, there's been so much discussion about the emphasis of the run game. How do you feel like that's being reflected in the playbook early and what the offensive line looks like with you guys, when the running backs look like with the offensive line?
It has like this year for sure we're gonna run the ball like on the summer and the spring. They just put it on us, making sure that we know where we at, know how to do it, and just like being more focused on our assignment. So I know for a fact we're gonna run the ball this year.
Micah, from your conversations with, Coach Faulk, Coach Johnny Mackin, just in the meeting room and not, from what they've told you and what they've, I guess just told you about what they're expecting, what, from your perspective, what's going to be the deciding factor about who gets the most touches and most opportunities? Like, how are you going to see the field? What are they emphasizing or what they want to see from you guys in that room?
Just whoever practiced the hardest, during the week.
Yeah.
That's what really determines. So you might see me out there, you might see any other running backs out there. So whoever practiced the hardest.
Gotcha.
Micah, last year, not many true freshmen get to contribute right away. But you got a chance to get in there, a little bit banged up. In your own words, how do you think year one went for you?
From the first year, I think it went pretty good. Had a couple of hamstring issues, fitness issues. So, but for the most part, last year it was pretty good. Learned a lot. So you'll see a lot of changes the way I run the ball, being more patient this year. So that's what I do.
Were those hamstring issues bother you in camp last year?
No, it was more of a just I haven't never worked on my hamstring coming to college. So I was a freshman, so I learned more about my body this year from Coach Swayze. So fix it. Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Mike, just as a follow-up to that, I mean, how grateful are you for that experience, even though there were some ups and downs last year, to make yourself better for this year?
I'm very grateful for that. Most freshmen, really don't see the field as much, and I seen them a lot, really. So I really enjoyed that. Sure.
Mike, obviously, Caden is a very different quarterback than you were around last year with Shador. How important is the chemistry with him, especially when you have a quarterback that is such an important part of the running game?
It's very important because he can run the ball. We can run the ball, so it's a threat, really. He can get out of the pocket and just separate the linebacker, or he can give it to us, so it's going to be hard to stop that. So.
Jake, do you want to finish that?
Micah, just as kind of the young guy in the room, what would you say is the biggest thing you've learned from Kalen, Simeon, Dallin, over the last year, just this offseason?
With those guys, I learned a lot. Like, they older than me, so they taught me a lot of things from just being patient. I can wait my turn sometimes. Just from the experience, they can just really teach me a lot. So it's been good.
Thanks, Micah.
Thanks, Micah. Appreciate you, bro.
Track Hawk up next.
Track Hawk.
So hang on, something.
Yeah, you good.
What's up, Miguel?
Something about DT. Brian, you want to start?
Yeah. Hey, first off, welcome to Colorado. What's this first camp been like for you, and compare that to where you've been at Incarnate?
Camp has been camp per usual. A lot of hard work, a lot of mental strains, more mental than physical. Really taking your time to learn what's going on, learn the offense, learn everything as a whole. So just been taking it in one step at a time.
Neely, go ahead.
You got a name like Track Hawk, and everybody knows you're fast and you don't shy away from racing anybody. Are you ready to declare yourself the fastest person on the team?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, Caitlin, when you got the call and got your offer to come here, coming up from that lower level, what did you think of Colorado? What were your impressions of Colorado, and how excited were you to be a part of this?
My impressions of Colorado were actually very on the upside, just with the coaching staff for starters. I wanted to be surrounded by guys that weren't going to only build me up on the field, but off the field and help me develop as a man. So I was really appreciative of that, but also just the prestige of the coaching and the people around. So it helped me to make that decision.
What were the last couple of years like for you watching CU? Because it was a bit of a national story.
It was actually pretty cool watching CU, just seeing Travis do his thing, seeing Shador do his thing, and then even the other receivers like Jimmy Horn and Webster did their thing. Like it was electric to watch.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, now that you come to Colorado, there's this old adage that iron sharpens iron. What do you think's helped get you the most better since you've been here?
Really the whole defense. Like everybody works. Like rather it's us, the running backs motioning out to do stuff against the safeties or against the linebackers. We're all working equally against each other, equally as hard, and getting each other better.
Ryan, go ahead.
And Kevin, you obviously were a slot receiver before you switched over to running back. You've now got a running backs coach that caught a lot of passes as well. So is that fun playing for a guy and learning from a guy that can talk to you about both of the skills you have?
Yes, I do feel like that's a great dynamic. I feel like learning from a coach that did both, caught a lot of passes, had a lot of rushing yards, was actually a great thing for me. It helps me understand the offense as a whole, not just as a running back, and that's something that Coach Faulk kind of harps on.
Scott, go ahead. Scott.
DeKalen, for people who maybe never seen you play, how would you describe your game, and what do you think you kind of bring to this offense from a skill perspective?
If you blink, you might miss it. That's how I describe my offensive play. But overall, I feel like I bring to the offense my speed and my versatility, but overall, just a great teammate. I'm always one of the next guy to win. Even if it's not me, my teammates winning, we're all winning.
Appreciate you.
Before you arrived, there was this aura around Steve of Deion Sanders and his presence, and he was, larger than life figure. I guess what's it been like coming in and just being in this aura with Deion and all that?
Coming in, being around Deion, you start to realize like he's human just like us. So we get to really get to know him on a deeper level and understand like, hey, like he's really here to build you as a man, not only just as a football player.
Obviously, Incarnate Word kind of was put on the map the last couple of years with what Cam did after he left.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that fuel you and give you confidence that you can go from a place like Incarnate Word and be a really big time player at the FBS level?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, no worries. Like Cam obviously put the program on the map, so obviously programs like this are going to be recruiting that program a lot heavier. How much confidence does that give you that you can make that jump and still be the same productive player?
It gives me a lot of confidence, not even just because of Cam Ward doing what he did, but just of me believing in the type of player that I am. And I feel like anybody that has utmost confidence in themselves has the opportunity to play at whatever level they choose to.
Exactly.
Going back to Coach Faulk, just what are some of the biggest things that you've learned from him so far?
From Coach Faulk, I learned to look at the offense from a greater span, like I mentioned earlier, to really just understand why we do what we do to make the offense better, if that makes sense. So I've learned how to not only be a running back, but be a pass catcher, and not only be a pass catcher, but actually help in the pass protection. So it's a big thing of learning everything and just being in the moment.
Last one, Nikki, go ahead.
There's many new faces on this roster, of course, on the offensive line. How do you feel like that room is coming together and what you want to accomplish in the running backs?
I love the offensive line. I feel like they do their job. They do it well. And I feel in the running back room, sky's the limit. I mean, it's guy after guy after guy. Like I said, if one of us eats, we all eat. So it's best man up.
Thanks, TT.
Appreciate you, Dry Dog.
Thanks, Brittany.
Dallin Hayden up.
What's that?
No. Adam, you want to start?
Dylan, we were talking with Micah, and he was dealing with the hamstring issue last year. You had kind of a similar issue with your ankle last year, right? How much was that affecting you, and what did your health look like this offseason?
I would say it affected me a lot last year because I never really felt like I got back to 100%, like being able to play as fast as I can. And so this off season, I just spent extra time in the weight room, working on strength and conditioning. And then in the training room, been strengthening my ankles like every single day. So,
Jack, go ahead.
Just wondering, what goals do you have for yourself this season, second year in Boulder?
just be the best player I can be, help the team win, and just do my job every single play and make plays on my number call.
Jack, go ahead.
You arrived obviously from Ohio State, and then I guess when you have running backs and other players who transfer in, what kind of words of advice can you give them to kind of ease the transition to Colorado football?
Just gotta learn what you're doing. Obviously, I'd say that's the biggest part. Like focus on the playbook, studying, like the new concepts because it's different and it can take time.
Dallin, as a guy who's been a featured back before, a workhorse, do you find having a running back room by committee alleviate some of that pressure, or does it put pressure to make the most of your reps so that you can stay out there as long as you want to?
I mean, I wouldn't say pressure, but game's changed. Like, there's a lot of people that rotate running backs in college and even in the NFL. But I have a mentality when I'm out there, I got to make a play, to continue to get more and more reps. So that's just always been my mentality.
Yeah, good. And now that you have a second year in the system, what have been the changes you've seen from last year's offense compared to this year's offense?
Well, obviously, we had two great players last year and a few great receivers that were gone. So I would say we're more balanced this year, and our offensive line and different personnel groupings that the coaches are putting together allows us to be more balanced, and it's been great so far.
Now, was your offseason any different as far as your approach, to make sure that you're the best Gallon you can be this year?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I said I spent extra time in the weight room and in the training because, obviously you get banged up as the season gets longer and longer. But I just want to be as stable as I can the whole year.
Scott, go ahead.
Dallin, how would you describe Coach Faulk's coaching style and how he kind of gets you guys motivated and locked in each and every day?
Coach Faulk, he's been awesome since he's been here. I learned a lot since he's been here. And he's obviously one of the smartest players to ever play this game. So his addition to the room has just been nothing but great things.
Last one back, go ahead.
Dallin, you talked about last year how you had a lot of great receivers. You got both great. Anyway, you had a lot of great receivers, great quarterback. How did you feel it went for you personally?
I mean, I try not to really think about last year was the field, and just try to be best than I was personally last year.
Okay, so when coming over from Ohio State, obviously, did Colorado meet your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, Colorado's been great. Enjoyed my time here. Just looking forward to this season.
Last one, Tyler, go ahead.
I asked Micah this too, but how would you assess what Caden has brought in terms of his dynamic running ability? How has that opened things up for you guys in the running back room as well?
It's helped us a lot because now the DN, honestly, and defenses have to play it honest because he can hurt you in the run game as well. So that takes pressure off the running backs because it gets guys off the box and makes our job a lot easier.
Thanks, Dallin.
Appreciate it, Dallin.
That's it today, y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah. We did.
Great press conference right there. Marshall Faulk, Track Hawk, Kaylon Taylor, Jalen Hayden, and Michael Welch. The running back room looking strong for the Colorado Buffalo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, let me give a shout out to the players. Their ability to handle the press. When Trackhawk asked to repeat the question, I just pumped my fist, man. Like I don't think we give enough credit to these guys' age and their ability to stand in these moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not tough to stand up there with all the cameras facing, looking right at you, and to answer these questions and keep your poise and confident, and be able to answer them, truthfully from the heart. You don't have a script when you go up there. It's kind of like this show almost. You never know what Deuce is going to say or I'm going to say. Just got to be on your toes to be prepped for that and ready to go.
We got some breaking news. The pot just called the kettle black. We're going to have more on that later on because when Chico say, we don't know what Neela or Deuce going to say, I can't believe. I can't believe you would put some charges out like that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who checked in. We had like 800 people watching us at the same time. More views than that. And still got 700 in here watching us to get our takes and analysis on this. Stay tuned. Also, we have Coach Reed live coming up next to join us, give us his thoughts on the running back room, of course, for the Colorado Buffaloes. Duke, what did you take from that, man, from hearing Coach Faulk and the running back speak this morning?
No, I'm excited, man. You got to be. First of all, you hear three guys where it sounds like it's a real competition and they trust each other more than anything. I think also to hear Coach Faulk say, listen, this is what I was given before I got here, and I'm going to make the best out of whatever I have. So I don't have to have I'm not looking for an attribute. I'm looking for guys who want to work. And then even the point of him saying that the point until you get the handoff, everybody's going to do a uniform. And I think that's so important because everybody teaches it a different way, especially in off-season training. Everybody's got these trainers, and all trainers do it differently. You got celebrity trainers, and you got, there's a whole lot of different ways for you to kind of figure out what are you going to do when you get to school. And Coach Faulk said, I don't care what you learned before then, you need to unlearn it if it ain't what I expect as far as you taking the handoff. And I thought that was important.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dukes. And you see that a lot at practice. There's sometimes he may pull one of his backs out of one drill so they can go work on something else. Like he doesn't have this cookie cutter, this is a canned product approach. Like we're gonna make a different recipe for each one of these guys' talents, their size, what their uniqueness that they bring to the table, so we can accentuate who they are, in this offense. And I also love, Dukes, as you said, there's a competition. Everybody wants to be RB1, but everybody also realizes that this is a committee thing. No one's going to get all the carries. This is going to be situational week to week, what the opponent is presenting, what the game plan is. And much like that wide receiver room, you're going to have a guy break for 100 yards in a game, and he may not do it again to 2 or 3 games later because somebody else did it the next game. But I think they're really going to focus on not just their running style and technique, but extra protection and also catching passes out of the backfield because that's who Marshall Faulk was. That's who Marshall Faulk is.
And I like how you broke it down and say, hey, man, all running backs are different. Look at the Hall of Fame. You got everybody in there. No one looks exactly the same. Whether it's E.D. Eric Dickerson to Jerome Bettis to Marshall Faulk to Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Thurman Thomas, whoever's in there, everybody looks the same, has a different running style. But like Duke said and like Coach Faulk said, you have to start right here, dog. You got to start with your stance and your alignment. And Michael Welch even hinted on that he changed the depth of their alignment. All that stuff matters, when playing college football, especially. So I'm liking what we're seeing so far. Everything it seems like it's up here first. You get that right, get that mental right, they can go out there and play as fast as they can. And you have to play fast at running back. You got 11 guys trying to tackle you, dog.
I've just yet to see Coach Prime make a change that didn't work. I don't care if we were at Jackson State or we're here. When he makes a staff change, a position change, a philosophy change, the needle moves up. And we have personal relationships, personal friendships. You have, admiration that you have of people. Like the change with strength and conditioning. Everybody still loves Coach Mo. Coach Lee is a great guy. He's at Wyoming now. But there's no debating that the program has changed with the addition of these new coaches. And I love the way the players have embraced that, attacked it, and attached themselves to it. Like, this is my coach now. Let me do what he's instilling in me because that's who I'm reporting to.
Oh, yeah. It's coming out with a whole different, like Coach Faulk says, it's a clean slate.
Yeah. And
when players know you have a clean slate, I have a chance to make a whole totally different impression on this coach. Forget what I've done in the past. Forget what, impression I made on that last coach. I need to learn from that and take advantage of what I have in front of me. And Coach Faulk is giving them that chance.
I gave Chico a clean slate, and I'd be damned if he ain't put it back right where it was. So I tell you, man, I hear what they saying about Chico, but that's what they say. Let me work with him. Let watch this. And about 2 weeks in, I said, no, they were right. They were right. They were right.
You're right. That boy cold-blooded, ain't it? Like Rick James.
And he's 98% Rico.
Nah, Chico, ain't no clean slates for you. Suspect is a Hold up.
Hey, one thing about the running back room, and we heard Coach Faulk say that you had running backs with different skills. How different were the 3 running backs that they had speak today? And when you talk about Trackhawk, when you talk about Michael Welch, you talk about Dallin Hayden, 3 completely different running backs. No similarities. I mean, you really had 3 totally different styles. And I thought that really just was a great depiction of what Coach Faulk was actually talking about when he said you got running backs with different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Dukes. Michael Welch wants contact. He wants to knock you over. Track hog, you're not going to catch him from behind. You know, former slot receiver with he's got Michael Welch muscle with Jimmy Horn speed. If you could put that together, because he used to play slot receiver. And then you look at Dallin, who's a mixture of it all. The bigger back of the two can take that contact and has the dexterity to avoid it and has hands coming out the backfield. So it's a 1-2-3 punch, man. That I think defensive coordinators, after they get a couple of games of film, are going to continue to have to adjust because let's say it's Georgia Tech and Dallin Hayden gets the lion's share. And if you're Delaware, Wyoming, or Houston watching that film, and then here comes Trackhawk or Micah in this game, like you don't know what to prepare for because they have three different successful styles. Well said, Dukes.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Yep.
Uncle Neely.
Yes, sir.
Does who speaks at these press conferences have anything to do? Like, how are they selected? Are they selected based on current play on the field, or is it totally separate from what they do on the field?
It's totally included of what they do on the field. It's totally included in how they show up on time for breakfast and don't miss weigh-ins, participating in team meetings, feedback from their coach. Of course, Coach Prime is going to have the ultimate say in who gets approved or not. But the position coach, when it's an offensive day and it's time for the backs, you know, Marshall Faulk knows his backs better than anybody. And so he's going to be involved in who can be an ambassador for this team and, you know, and represent well. So it's a gumbo of it all, but you better believe what you're doing out on that field has something to do with it.
Yeah. The running backs, man. Offensive linemen love them. They love to lean on that defensive line and open up them lanes for the running backs to run through there. Let's bring on our resident offensive lineman, Coach Reed, who's been in the back. I didn't even know he was in the back, but came in quietly. But we're gonna bring him in now. Coach, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. You know, Marshall Faulk. I'm a St. Louis boy, so I got to see Marshall Faulk play growing up with the Rams, and as excited as I am to see him here coach with Colorado, just the memories of him bringing the Super Bowl to St. Louis. And when you talk about we have three backs with three different styles, Marshall Faulk was every style. He could line up at tailback behind the fullback. When they went single back, he could be the single back. If they went five wide, he could stay in the game as a wide receiver. And he had Isaac Bruce, who was a Hall of Fame receiver, Torrey Holt, who should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. He's a Hall of Famer himself. The greatest show on turf, as talented as those other guys were, he made the offense go because he didn't have to substitute out in any situation. He could stay in the game, and it made it really, really tough to game plan for. Those backs at the University of Colorado are really fortunate that they're getting that level of tutelage. And the receivers would also be wise to get some knowledge because he could also line up there at the X, the Z, or the W or U, whatever they call in the slot up there, and he could route you up. Just a completely magnificent offensive player with just as high of an IQ as you're going to find.
This is the morning run, and we have now been joined by the legendary coach out of St. Louis, Missouri, state championship winning, one of the best recruiters and evaluators of talent there is, Coach Carl Reed, one half of the big boys. Be joining us regularly on the morning run. Coach, I got to ask you this because you touched on it right there at the end. I said it in the prelim before the press conferences. One of the players touched on it during the press conference. I don't think Marshall Faulk gets enough credit for the mental football IQ and his impact on the offense with the Colts, with the Rams, or wherever. It wasn't just the quarterback calling out what they were seeing. Marshall Faulk was putting people in positions. Marshall Faulk was an extension of the head coach out there. As a guy in St. Louis watching this, talk to us about that Faulk IQ and why people overlook that.
Well, because he played running back. He one of the greatest football minds you could ever be around. And that Mike Martz offense from back then, it had so many checks. It had so many balances, so many things to do, so much multiplicity. And he was able to move from spot to spot to spot. When you talk about players who have a multidimensional skill set, it's not just athletic ability, it's mental dexterity and mental ability, because you have to be able to make adjustments and line up in the right spot. You know how many runs he had to know, how many pass concepts he had to know, how many formations he had to know, how many motions he had to know. He also had to understand how to insert himself in the pass protection for when he had to block. So there was just so many things, man, that Marshall Faulk did and that he brought to the table from an IQ standpoint. When Coach first told me that he was going to bring him onto the coaching staff, to me, man, it was just it was something that I got really excited about right away from growing up watching him with the Rams.
And one more to you, Coach, before we go to Dukes. You talked about it with that offense and him understanding. He was one of the first backs to say, "No, dog, I'm not worried about my carries. I'm worried about my touches. Like
Yeah.
I want to be involved in the pass game." And you really saw the running back position change after that success with him. What does it say about a Coach Falk as a player to understand I'm not one dimensional? I'm not looking for my guys to be one dimensional. We are football players, like he said in his press conference.
Well, he was ahead of his time, and it's something that I tell young guys all the time. The more things that you can do, the more you'll get an opportunity to play. If you only can run the ball between the tackles, when we're not doing that, they got to take you out the game. So when we want to go screen game, if you can't run screen game, you got to come out. If you are only a guy that can play in the slot, but you can't run between the tackles, when I want to run between the tackles, I got to take you out of the game. So if you want to play, you need to really work on making sure that you have a total skill set for the position. And the more you can do, can you return kicks? Can you be involved in the kick return game? It's a lot of things you can do. And the more you touch the ball, the more money that you're going to make and the more opportunities you're going to get to impact winning. So you're going to have certain guys, you had this term back in the day, a third down back. They had a big back that go in there and run, and then on third down, they had to bring a guy in who can go out and catch passes. Marshall Faulk was an every down back. He could do it all, and he never had to come out the game. That's one of the things that made him completely viable.
Deuce to scoop.
Yeah, Coach Reed, what's going on, big dog?
What's up, baby?
Hey, listen, so I wanted to ask you, just from personal experience that you've seen in your days coaching, is it impossible to teach somebody hands once they get 16 or 17 years old? Reason I'm asking, there are some guys that you see in this ranking class or this year's class that they say, oh, well, he could run the ball, but he can't catch. And different schools are kind of have varying opinions based on that fact. You got some coaches that say, well, that's my job to develop him. Do you feel like Coach Faulk can actually help somebody's hands get better at this late stage in the game?
Yeah, if they're willing to do it, because it's a confidence thing. A lot of coaches and kids have to be careful about this. If you have a weakness in your game, it's the coach's responsibility to try to make it a strength. But you're going to have some coaches who say, well, you can't catch. I'm just never going to throw you the ball. And we never going to develop that part of your game because you can't do it. Right. So you have to understand, are you working for somebody or with somebody who has the ability to teach? Mike Tomlin said it a long time ago in one of his interviews. We have a lot of guys that run away from coaching, right? We need to throw the ball to this guy. We need to have him loosen up the box, but catching is not what he does. Did we come early? Did we stay late? Did we do extra work on the jugs machine? Did we do anything to try to help enhance and bring this guy's game along? And I think that that's a major responsibility of the coaching staff and guys like Marshall Faulk, who improved this game in so many ways over the course of his career. He's going to look at that totally different than the average coach.
Man, I like that. Just to go back on, can you improve a guy's hand? At first, I was like, nah, you got to be a natural pass catcher. But then again, yeah, you can improve if you work on it. Like you say, get on that jug machine, get out there. But if you're talking about, are they going to be at the level of Marshall Faulk? Then probably not. Some of that comes with natural ability to track the ball in the air and things of that nature. But the more you work on it, just like if you practice blocking or something, you can improve it. Yes, of course.
We got some wide receivers that weren't great natural passers. A lot of them use their body to catch the ball. It's more about, can you get the ball, caught, however you catch it, right? Mm-hmm. And I do think that you can improve on that. Can you ever become great? I don't know if you can be great at it, but you can be serviceable for sure.
Exactly.
Coach, I think it's a mixture for me. And I want to lean on you as a coach and Chico as a former player. One thing I can tell you about this time of year, if you ain't working on it on your own, you ain't gonna get better at it because we have a regimented structured practice that we're doing something different every 3 to 5 minutes, and that's not going to include helping you get better catching. And so it's what you're going to do before practice and after practice that really moves that needle more than the coach can. Thoughts on that, Coach?
Neely, I think that's a great point. And
Yep.
a lot of guys, you have to have some self-determination for how good you want to be in your own game. So a lot of it too, is an ego standpoint for players. If somebody tells you that you're not good at something or that you need to improve on a part of your game, can you accept that level of coaching? Can you accept that level of accountability? Can you get with a trainer to work on the things? Because most guys love to work on the things that they're already good at because it makes them feel really good about themselves. But if you
Right.
put them out there and they drop 8 out of 10 passes they first couple of times, they'll give up on it instead of saying, man, I really got to improve this part of my game. Because if you make it to the NFL, there's no guarantee you're going to be a starter or a star player. You might be a situational guy. I know guys that played in the league for a long time because they could do one thing really, really well and they found a niche or they found a role. So
Yeah.
I would just recommend for guys, like Neely said, to take some accountability for yourself, man, and work on your weaknesses. I think that when people ask me a lot about Travis Hunter and his ability to play both ways, I think Travis was a kid who got himself in condition on his own time, right? I don't think he came to practice condition. I think his off-season regimen got him in condition because he knew he was going to have to play that type of load. So he came in ready to go. I think if you're missing something in terms of your ability to catch or your ability to do something, you have that same responsibility for your own game.
Coach, in your time around the game, and especially as a former offensive lineman, we know that when running backs put the ball on the ground, it's like a cardinal sin. And then you have guys who they quote unquote call fumble prone, and you try to give them different you kind of give them different projects or different exercises to do during the week to work on that. Do you think you can correct someone being fumble prone?
Well, fortunately for me, Dukes, I played with and coached some great backs. So I've never been around a guy who consistently puts the ball on the ground. We've kind of always been in a situation where it was just too many good players, and that's probably the one thing that you can do that it gets you out of the game really fast if you're putting the ball on the ground. So everybody does the basic 9 points of pressure and the different drills, but a lot of it is mental focus, right? And the ability to knowing when I'm around crowded defenders, I got to cover the ball up with both hands, and then I got to be able to, when I'm running in green grass, I can put it in one hand. When I'm on the left side of the field, I got to put the ball in my left hand. When I'm on the right side of the field, I got to put my ball in the right hand so it's away from the defender. It's those fundamental things that typically lead to fumbles, right? And it's also guys not understanding their technique. If you take the wrong steps and your eyes are on the defense and that ball isn't where you were supposed to go, it's typically when you see guys put the ball on the ground, it's a fundamental problem. But I will say this, if you put it on the ground, you can't play.
You can't play.
You can't play. Gotta
No
come on.
doubt.
If you are just joining us, this is the Morning Run Live, coming to you live from literally all across America, these United States, including the islands. We come to you 11 a.m. Mountain, 5 days a week now. Today's pressers were Marshall Faulk and 3 of the running backs from Colorado. You're now joined by the legendary Coach Carl Reed, state championship winner there, Missouri. Excellent knowledge in recruiting and talent evaluation. Chico, Duke, speaking of recruiting and talent evaluation, Coach Reed, we got somebody you might know in the building now.
Yeah, man. My son has joined the staff, and I'm excited. I'm excited for him and the opportunity that he's getting, man, to learn, from some great guys. Dukes knows him because he's met him throughout the recruit process. Nearly, you met him when he came up there and worked count at Colorado a couple of years when he was still coaching in high school. I'm excited for the opportunity that he has, to learn from some of the guys in that building and take his game to the next level.
Coach, when you're developing a recruiting staff like that's taking place at Colorado under Coach Prime, how important is guys' regional connections? And you want to have that diverse, as far as just, hey, these are three best guys, but they all are great in California. Nobody knows them in the South. How do you go about putting together a package of a staff room that everybody knows somebody that knows somebody, as Trick Daddy would say?
Everybody you hire in the recruiting room should be able to go somewhere, especially their hometown, and get a guy when you need a guy. They should all have that in their bag. But as the game has expanded with the transfer portal, and like I tell this to my son all the time, you have got to develop relationships across the country, right? You have got to be able to go get guys whatever you need because, like, we from St. Louis, but the D tackle you need might not be from St. Louis. He might be from Mississippi. He might be from Philadelphia. And so you got to be able to get on the horn and say, hey, who do we know up in Philly that know the kid that go to Roman Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be able to, that's what being a great recruiter is about. It's about the relationships and not just getting the information, but knowing when you get it, how to apply it and how to go get the guys that you need, because that's what makes you a great recruiter. It's your ability to go out there and find the pieces that you need no matter where they're from.
Recruiting is not for the weak-hearted, especially the old school recruiting where you had to hit the road.
They don't know nothing about that. You know, Chico. So I was telling the guy the other day, a young high school coach, I say, listen, when I started coaching, we didn't have huddle. Everything wasn't on computer. We
Right.
had the dub tapes on the VHS. When I did film exchange, I had to drive an hour, 2 hours to my opponent and change the film on a VCR. At some
Yeah.
point, we got DVDs, and so that made the copying process a little quicker. But now all guys got to do is go in the huddle and click the button. It's really easy. So I don't really want to hear the complaining from the young guys these days. They got it pretty easy compared to what we have to do back in the day.
With Coach
Hell,
Reed, let me tell you what Big Dog told me. He said, man, I'm great at this recruiting thing because it's just like when I used to be in the club. 8 out of 10 was going to tell me no anyway. I just went on to the next one.
he ain't lying. Hold up, man. Chill out. What's wrong with you? So he ain't lying.
Hey, one thing I
Hey,
want to tell
the
everyone
numbers
out there,
game, though.
it is a numbers game. One thing I want to tell
Yeah.
everybody out there, not only is the morning run, Coach Reed, now 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, every other Monday, we're going to be joined by Coach Reed live. So get used to it, get your questions ready, get ready for different topics based on what's going on during the season and the rest of camp. But Coach Reed is going to be with us every other Monday on the morning run. Deuce, you can't beat that now.
Now you can't beat it. I tell you what, when Coach Reed started mentoring me, about 3-4 years ago, like when I got to 24/7, and I still ask him questions like I don't know him. And here goes another one. Coach Reed, when it comes to inside zone and outside zone, can you give us a key for each one where you can say, you know what, the running back is doing what he's supposed to do? Because I see this year, like in this system with Pat Shermer being a disciple of the Air Coryell in some ways, and then you got Coach Faulk played under Mike Martz, Air Coryell offense. You know the inside zone and outside zone are going to be staples. How can you measure how well a running back is doing in both of those phases of the run game?
So if I'm running inside zone, let's say we go an inside zone to the right, okay, and we against, it doesn't matter whether it's a even or front, but I want to track the inside leg of the guard to the side I'm going to. And he's going to do one or two things. He's either going to be pushing his guy at a 45-degree angle, or he's going to have his guy pinned to the inside. If he pins his guy, we can keep the run to the front side of the zone. If he's pushing his guy out, my shoulder should still be square. And now I start to look to my center and to my backside guard for the cutback. My backside guard's got to be flowing the same way. If I'm going outside zone, we can call that outside zone, or we can call it stretch, or tackle chase, right? And what I'm telling the back to do is I want you running to the outside leg of the tackle. We sprint to the outside leg of the tackle. And if you can get the edge, we want you to take the edge right now. But if the tackle is pushing that guy towards the sideline, I want you to plant one step, and I want you to come right off the inside of the offensive tackle and get vertical. We want you only taking one cut, not two cuts, not three. We don't want you dancing, right? We want you running straight to that tackle's outside hip. And then we want you to plan and make a decision right away.
Now, Dukes, Coach, I got to say something. And I'd hate to be the one to say this, but we don't charge for this show. This is free for y'all to watch. But at the information like that, you got to at least hit the like button. It don't cost nothing to hit the like button or the share button, because where else can you get that breakdown like that from a legendary coach live on a Monday morning in the morning run? Magnifique, Coach Reed.
And I'm going to say this.
With
This
demonstration.
is something I've said before that is very controversial and people don't like it. But the back makes the line. The line doesn't make the back. Right? Don't you ever forget that. Right?
And tell us why, Coach.
Because if the back doesn't make the right read, the offensive line can do the right thing every play and it won't matter.
Mm.
Right?
You ain't
lying. So I can take Marshall Faulk and he's a Hall of Famer, but when he leaves, I got a new back behind the same exact offensive line and it don't look the same. Terrell Davis ran for 2,000 yards and became the MVP of the league, and you put Olandis Gary behind the same group, and he was good, but it wasn't, it wasn't an MVP type season. So having a back that understands what to do and the difference between being a guy who can run zone and being a guy that's great at running gap schemes like power and counter, all of that. Because if you got a great back and you a lineman, he's going to run the blocks right into you, right? So
Coach, let me put a bow around your
No
remarks
vision.
there, because Coach Falk, right under the tent, is no longer there earlier. They talked about his room and his philosophies, and it's so akin to what you just said, because he said, hey, one thing I like about my room, I can lose two guys and I haven't lost anything, because the next two guys may not be where the first two are physically, but we all got the same IQ. We all know what to do. And it's because we know what to do that we're going to be successful. It's not about the physical part. I got depth at IQ.
Dude, let me tell you something. And you a guy that has been around Auburn, Dukes, your whole career. So we can go back to the Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown days when they went 13-0, both those guys first round picks. The next year, Auburn returned all 5 starting O linemen, and they were at the bottom of the SEC in rushing with the same O line without Cadillac and Ronnie Brown. So if you get out your feelings and you open your mind up to what's really the truth, if you get a great back, he can make almost any O-line work for him in the run game. Now, if you got a bad O-line in the passing game, your quarterback going to be in hell. But in the run game, right, the back makes the line.
No, you're right, Coach. And when you think about it, because the running back can be good, and then the offensive line can be good, but if the running back isn't reading the offensive line the correct way, then neither one of them matches the production that they could have. Because even after that, you got to think Auburn followed up with Kenny Irons and Ben Tate. Both of these guys went second round. But when it came to the scheme of how they ran behind that same offensive line, it wasn't winning football. And no disrespect to those guys, two guys I know really well. But in that moment, were they able to do the same things that Lack and Ronnie B were able to do? Absolutely not. And you saw that, Ron, and you saw that in the win and loss column. Hey, Coach, I got to ask you one last thing. I'm acting like I don't know you, but listen, when the what was your blood pressure like when Tennessee Titans, St. Louis Rams? Now I'm watching it. They in the Georgia Dome Super Bowl. When was that Kevin Dyson?
Yeah,
winds up 1 yard short, and you guys win the Super Bowl.
So I'm gonna tell you something, because I went to college in Tennessee at Austin Peay State University, and that was my freshman year of college. So all my teammates from Memphis and Chattanooga and Nashville, and I'm only St. Louis guy here. So we got a lot of heavy betting going on. Now this is pre-Draft Kings and pre-gambling and all that. We got heavy betting going on, right? I'm from St. Louis, and I'm sitting in the room with nothing but guys that are from Tennessee, right? So on that last play when Mike Jones made the tackle on Dyson, my blood pressure was high, but we won. But let me tell you what happened after that. What happened after that is legendary. I immediately left Tennessee and came to St. Louis because the parties, man, were epic. We the Super Bowl champs, man, and the city was turned up for about the next 30 days. And I left and I did not go to class for a month because I was celebrating the Super Bowl in St. Louis, man, and it was nothing like it, right?
Man.
And back then we didn't have cell phones. You didn't have text
Which means
messages.
we didn't have cameras.
We didn't have none of that. So you couldn't find me. So I didn't have to, my parents couldn't find me. The coach could, hey man, but you only, what do they say? They say YOLO. You only live once, man.
I'm gonna tell you
only
this,
live
Coach
once.
Reed. I haven't had the opportunity. I guess I didn't take advantage of the opportunity to get my party on in St. Louis, but I did go over there to Brooklyn and East St. Louis.
Now
So
listen, man. Listen. I think my wife is watching the show, man. So we're gonna have to talk about Brooklyn offline.
East St. Boogie, baby. Hey man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. It's the morning run. Big Dog Chico, Deuce to Scoop. Yours truly, Uncle Neely. Had Coach Carl Reed with us today. He'll be back on Monday after next. And you want to stay tuned because he's subject to pop up anytime we got a hot topic that he's an expert in. And that's every damn thing related to football. Big Dog Chico, it's on you for the super chats in the land of plane.
And we got a few super chats that came through here. Shout out to C Maven for the $10 super chat. We also have one from Annette. I think that's correct. Vaughn
Annette D.
Randall and Lanikia also. And Andrea, or it could be Andre. Depends on how you say it. You know what I mean? But shout out to all y'all in the super chat.
It was so funny, man.
How about
Without
funny,
trying.
dog?
Without
How about
trying.
funny?
Without trying. Coach Reed, I'm sorry you had to put up with that, man.
Hey,
Hey, y'all
listen,
know
man.
what to do. Go ahead, Coach.
Hey, listen, man. You gotta when you go to Brooklyn and places like that, you gotta be careful because all that glitter get on you, the devil's confetti. So
The
when
devil's confetti is gonna get
Where
on
that come
you,
from, Coach?
and people gonna know where you been.
you walk
Shout
in the
out
house,
to shout out to East St.
with that
Louis.
devil's confetti, man, you got a
Oh,
conversation.
okay, gotcha.
It's a conversation that
I
had
tell
to
you,
be.
Chico, I tell you about Brooklyn in the text group.
Got that glitter on you.
Yes,
You can't
sir.
hide that glitter, dog.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Check us out tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I'll be checking in right here post practice from Boulder. Deuce to Scoop coming in from the ATL, and the Big Dog Chico out in the middle of the ocean. Later this week on Wednesday, we got Chuck Bishop coming on, but also my man Derek from the creative team is coming on to talk about how he came up with that damn trading card official offer letter from Coach Prime. And Friday is football media day. So Coach Prime, both quarterbacks, loads of players will be on the morning run Friday. Man, y'all stay tuned the whole week.
Before you get up out of here, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all the other good stuff. Let us know where you're checking in from before you go. Thank you guys for coming out once again. This is the morning run on the pregame network for Coach Reed, live for Coach or Deuce the Scoop and Uncle Neely, Big Dog Chico. We're gonna get up and about of this thing, man. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah.